want to just make this quick little video series here. It's going to be a short one about a really cool aspect of the hobby that I'm just finally getting involved in. I know I'm a little late to the party. A lot of guys are already doing it.
You're late.
I figured it's about time that I jumped in. I've had a 3D printer for a while, and I decided that now I'm just going to go full into it and see what I can do with it. It'll be a nice addition to my regular building, as it just seems like a cool thing to try. Let me show you what it's doing right now, as I'm running a live stream right now. So if you guys go to my live stream video, you'll see it actually working, and it's going to be doing that probably for about 5 days, as that's how long it's going to take for this one to print. I'll show you what I'm working on right now as far as 3D printing, because it just wanted to get my feet wet in this before I tackle the really big job that I'm printing right now. And let me show you what that is. Right here, I'm printing the Buck Rogers Thunder Fighter.
Watch out, Major, on your tail.
Captain Rogers, I ordered you to stay out of this.
Girl, you need all the help you can get.
Rogers in the 25th century. From Universal Pictures.
And it's being live cast right now, and it'll be that way for about 5 days. Can't say it's the most exciting video in the world, but I don't know, I find it kind of mesmerizing just watching this machine go ahead and print. I can just sit there and stare at it for a little while. Kind of relaxing. Maybe like an ASMR video, maybe? No, not really that. But it is, I find it kind of relaxing just to watch it do its thing. So anyway, let me show you guys what I'm working on right now for a little piece that I recently printed. That is my, like I said, my way of getting my feet wet in the 3D printing world. So let's go to the bench and I'll show you what that is. Alright guys, if you've seen a couple of my other videos, you know I'm delving into 3D printing. And right now, I've got a live stream going of the new print that I'm running right now, which is the Buck Rogers Thunder Fighter. And it's an interesting world, this 3D printing stuff. This was my first 3D print, which, of course, it had to be a Fiero. And it actually came out pretty cool. So, just here to give you my thoughts on the 3D printing, especially, well, pertaining particularly to the, what do they call this, PLA, which is just the, this is not resin printing. This is, the name escapes me right now. But resin printing, well, okay, my honest opinion of 3D printing. If you're going to do something that's really, really heavily detailed in a small size, you have to go with resin. You're making larger items or items that are going to be particularly robust, then PLA is the way to go. Because this is the fiero that I did, and it may be the file that I got. You know, it was a free file. I downloaded off the internet just because I wanted to play with the printer, as I'm just learning this stuff now, so I'm no expert.
You smart. You very smart. We the best. You a genius.
But it gave me a pretty good facsimile of the fiero. The shape is dead on accurate. The only thing is, it wasn't the most detailed print, as you don't have any of the panel lines on the model. It's missing the air intake. And it does have the belt line, the mirrors, the quarter windows. The windows are all perfectly made. Now, this PLA stuff requires a lot of sanding, as it took me quite a while to get this smooth, or as smooth as I'm looking to make it right now. And if you look at the rear window, that's basically what it looked like. It was full of layers. And I think I got it pretty smooth. hit it with a couple of coats of primer, and this is what we have as a final result. Now I could keep sanding and smoothing it out a little more, cleaning up the windows, but I'm not really going for 100% perfection on this, as this is just a test and my first actual 3D print. But I am going to completely paint and detail this with paint. So that ought to look pretty interesting, as I'm just want to make a cool little model of this particular body of the Fiero with the 87 and 88 coupe front and rear bumpers. Here we have the wheels, as they don't have any engraving on the wheels themselves. So I'm going to see if I can simulate that with my Gundam markers. So, you know, we're just playing here. We're just playing and we're learning, as this is, like I said before, my first attempt at really 3D printing a model. Now, this was a very simple print. It was basically the body and the 4 wheels and tires, unlike the Buck Rogers thing that I'm printing over there, which, honestly, I don't even know how big that thing is going to be. One of the things that I still have to learn is scaling, because that Buck Rogers print looks like it's going to be huge. So I might be in trouble with that one. But this one here is tiny. I want to say it's a little bit smaller than 1/32nd, but larger than 1/43rd. So it's somewhere in the middle there. And it's kind of cool. It's almost like a larger Hot Wheels car. So I'm going to take it to the paint booth and throw some color on it, as I've sanded it down as smooth as I think I want to. I don't want to work that, much more on this as far as sanding it down, because I really want to put some color on it and just see how it turns out. So we're going to the paint booth next. Okay, guys, we're here at the paint booth, and we're going to throw some paint on this. And I was thinking to myself as I was coming out here and getting everything ready, one thing about 3D modeling is that it really frees you up. You're not afraid of making mistakes, because if I screw it up, I can just print another one. It just takes a little time, a little filament, and boom, I have a whole nother model that's exactly like this one. So what that does, that it gives you a little bit more freedom as you get to play and take risks with a model that you might not normally take with a regular model, such as a styrene kit, because you're afraid of damaging it and you can't just readily replace it if you do screw it up. So I recommend this, this little journey I'm taking to learn 3D printing. And I'm taking baby steps now, because I'm starting with filament printing and I want to eventually move my way up to resin. So this is definitely baby steps. Right now, this is probably going to give me a pretty good Hot Wheels kind of model, just in a larger size. And to show you what I mean, this is a Hot Wheels Fiero, and you can see there are no panel lines. You can see the impressions of the panels. But there's no real dividing as far as the trunk, the doors, the hood, just the impressions of it. So that's kind of like what this is going to be when it's done. And like I said, I'm just going to have some fun with it, and not worry too much about perfection and accuracy like I normally do on my builds. So let's get started, and join me on this little trip here down the 3D highway. As I'm expanding my horizons in the hobby, and hopefully once I get the hang of this, I can move up to resin. But guys, this is the kind of thing we have to look forward to in the future of our hobby. If we want to continue to see the hobby grow, we've got to embrace the new technology. I know a lot of people don't consider 3D modeling real modeling, but I gotta say, after doing all the work that I've done on this one just to get it to this point, and it's nowhere near perfect, mind you, but all the work I've done to this to get it to this point, I consider it just as valid a modeling hobby as regular scale modeling. I mean, it is scale modeling. You have a small scale vehicle that you're trying to make look as realistic as possible. Let's get painting and see how this thing turns out. It may totally suck, but that's okay too, because this is my first one and I'm just learning. Either that, or maybe I just suck at it. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Alright guys, and here we have the fully painted 3D model. This is a really interesting experience. I've already seen where I can make it better on my next attempt. And what I wanted to see with this was how well it would take to the model paint, and it really takes to it very well. Now I can see some places where I could have smoothed out the layer lines a little bit more, but when I wet sand the paint and then apply the clear coat, I think that'll help to minimize even more some of the lines and some of the roughness in the body. But overall, I'm very happy with the way it looks so far. It is going to look like a giant Hot Wheels car, which is going to be pretty neat when it's done. So that's going to end it for this quick little video here. I just wanted to show you guys what I was up to in a new facet of the hobby that I'm just enjoying and having a little fun with. Oh, let me point out one thing. Now, I was playing along the lines of adding some detail to it, so I drew in the door panel lines and painted over them so that they wouldn't be so stark red, and that kind of gave me an effect that I was looking for. I didn't do it on this side as I wanted to have a comparison with the lines on and off. Like I said, this is a big experiment for me, and we're going to probably put the lines over the paint on this side, and just to compare which looks better. So we're going to let this sit for a couple of days, let the paint cure. Then we're going to do some wet sanding, some polishing, and see if we can bring this to the level of the paint job on a styrene kit. Don't know if it'll get to be that good, but it'll be fun trying to find out. Alright guys, I'm going to end it here, and we'll be back in part 2 of this. This is going to be a very short series where we do the polishing, clear coating, and painting the wheels. Alright, see you guys on the next one.